What's going on, guys? It is Rinne-Hatake here, back with another video, and today I got What If Deku Was Isekai'd to ReZero, Part 2. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the last part, and I do apologize for not uploading for some time, but I'm back to upload Part 2, and I will be posting a few new What Ifs after this one, so hopefully you guys do enjoy that. But without further ado, let's begin, or let's go back to where we left off in the last part. So, where I left off, Izuku is clashing blades with Elsa, as Elsa is using her, well, weirdly shaped knives that are meant to cut out people's, intestines, as Deku is using a sword he's found within the loot house that he was in, as they're continuously clashing blades, as you can hear the metal clashing. As Deku is honestly, he's pretty good with blades, I guess. He mostly uses knives. He's only ever used a katana once in his life, or a sword once when he used it on a mission, but he ultimately never used one again after that, because he ended up injuring someone too badly with that, which could have been very fatal, so he decided to stick with something a little less fatal, but still very dangerous, which were knives. So he's still not too bad with the sword, but ultimately Elsa has more combat experience that's over Deku's, so yeah, she's currently winning this battle, as Deku blocks one of Elsa's attacks, but Elsa, who was hiding another blade in her coat, pulls it out and tries to shank him. As you know, Deku was currently blocking her attack. Deku wasn't expecting a second one, so he narrowly avoids that one, getting a bit of a cut on his stomach, as Deku covers it with his hands, like, dang it, I let my guard down, not good. She hits me with another one of those attacks, I might be done. As Deku gets back into his fighting position and starts clashing yet again, as Felt, who is watching, decides to help out Deku, saying, "Hey, you! I'll help you! So, don't do anything stupid." As you know, Felt grabs that knife from her belt and basically starts using her wind magic, which was her specialty, and she starts slashing wind slashes at Elsa, as Elsa is very acrobatic and dodges most of those attacks, getting cut a little bit or grazed by the last slash, but she still avoids it, as Deku comes in charging forward, slashing his blade at her, as Elsa blocks the attack and basically tries to stab Deku, basically trying to get his face, right? Deku narrowly avoids that, getting a graze on his cheek, as you know, they're continuously fighting hard, as they're barely holding Elsa off at this current moment, as Deku got cuts almost everywhere on his body, as he's bleeding intensely, as Felt also got cut, and so did the old man, since the old man, tried to help out his technically granddaughter. I'm pretty sure that's how the old man saw her. But yeah, the old man got himself injured as well, and Felt currently got a lethal injury, getting her leg cut, not cut off though this time. Her leg just got cut very deeply, so right now she can barely even stand. As Deku, who is losing tons of blood at this current moment, is struggling to get back up, as he grabs his blade, saying, "I will not lose to the likes of you," as he gives her the look, as Deku has that fierce look in his eyes, as Elsa licks her lips, saying, "That's the look I like, boy. You're an interesting fellow, but I'm afraid that you're gonna die, and I'm gonna take that insignia if you don't mind," as she dashes forward, about to end my boy Deku's life, as Deku was like, "No, I can't let it end like this. Not like this." As he closes his eyes, waiting for the impact or the blade to cut him down, suddenly he could hear a familiar voice that would say, "Puck, help, can you help me out, Puck?" Oh, my bad, I messed it up. Let me try that again real quick. So, we rewind a little bit. So Deku, was about to accept his fate, right? Deku closes his eyes, waiting for the impact, or waiting for the blade to cut him down, but he hears a familiar voice. As that voice happens to be Satella, or in this case, Amelia. As Amelia calls on Puck, as Puck, that white fluffy cat, appears, as he blasts tons of ice spikes at Elsa, as Elsa blocks a few of those spikes and basically dodges the rest of them, as she basically scoffs, saying, "Can't believe it. So, you're here too, the Great Spirit." As Puck would basically float around, laughing, saying, "That's right, I'm here as well." As Amelia, who was also there, would say, "Thanks, Puck." As, Amelia would, go around checking if they're all okay. As Deku would look up, seeing Amelia, saying, "It's you." As Amelia was shocked seeing Deku there, because they did meet up before, and Amelia was kind of offended with the way Deku called her Satella, but she was shocked that he was even here, wondering why he was here, because she never informed him of anything of the sort. As Deku just gives her a smile, saying, "Good thing you're here, or else we'd all be gone by now." As Deku gets up, picking up the sword, saying, "All right, take those two and get out of here. I'll hold them off for you." As Amelia would refuse, saying, "No, I could help you in this fight." As Amelia and Deku basically, go back to back and basically start double teaming Elsa. As Amelia would be supporting Deku in the fight, as if Deku ever lets down his guard or lets Elsa get an opening hit, Amelia would blast ice attacks at Elsa, which would connect a few times here and there, and this would kind of take Elsa off, as Elsa had enough and was just gonna finish them both off at this point. But Deku would back up, saying, "Dang it, she's too strong." As he starts panting, as he feels himself, or he feels dizzy, as his vision gets blurry, as Amelia gets tired out, as she's been using her magic for so long, she's almost running out of mana. As Puck, was also helping out, but he kind of timed out because he was helping Amelia find the insignia earlier, and he was actually out and about, searching far and wide, and he's kind of used up tons of magic himself, so the Great Spirit, Puck, had to go and rest. So yeah, that's the current situation. As you do know, Reinhardt isn't introduced yet. Deku hasn't met Reinhardt yet, so none of this, so they wouldn't really know about the situation. But what I'm gonna do here is give them insane plot right now. Their plot armor, or the main protagonist plot armor, is gonna kick in right here. I'm gonna say that one of the neighbors, or the people who are there, since this is still in the backwater town, one of the people who are the sword clashing and screams and all that, got terrified, thinking that could happen to him as well. So he basically runs into the main city, which took a while, and basically goes to the guard station and tries to call for someone or call for help. But Reinhardt happened to coincidentally be there at the exact time, since he finished doing his job or patrols around the city, making sure people are safe, doing his nightly duties as he would. So that's how Reinhardt would actually be sent over to the backwater town to go help with the situation. As Deku and Amelia were holding them off, Felt, who was bleeding like crazy, her bleeding has kind of now stopped because of Amelia using her ice on her leg and covering up most of the parts of her body that were cut with deep wounds, basically trying to stop the blood, stopping her from bleeding out. As Reinhardt would bust open through the door, cutting the door, as Elsa was about to give him that finishing blow, Reinhardt would come in saying, "This doesn't look right," as he looks around saying, "So, the Bowel Hunter." As the bow hunter Elsa would look towards the red headed man. I think he's red-headed, right? I'm not sure. I've totally forgot what Reinhardt looks like. I'm gonna say he's red-headed. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, looks towards the man with that, or the man who's known to possess incredible power, as she widens her eyes saying, Reinhardt? What are you doing here? As Elsa backs up for a second, thinking, this could be very troublesome. It's either I go, it's either I run or retreat now, or I take the insignia, or I kill them. Or like I take the insignia and quickly run for it, or just run for it anyways, because I don't think I can even take the insignia at this point. As she's contemplating what to do, because Reinhardt's kind of messing up her plans and stuff like that. So Reinhardt would basically say, alright, this ends now. Elsa, I'm gonna finish you off now. You guys can just rest up. As Reinhardt doesn't even need his holy sword or whatever he uses. He just asked Deku to give him that sword he was using. And Reinhardt, with one attack, basically blows Elsa out the water. Elsa actually died, quotation marks. She didn't actually die because, she's somewhat immortal in a way. Yeah, she's somewhat immortal right now. Well, she's not immortal. Meh, I just think it's plot armor in my opinion, but it is what it is. She has a strange ability that basically lets her survive this. So yeah, she's gonna be coming back in the future, as she does in the actual anime of ReZero. So yeah, we move from this. As they managed to get the insignia back, and they managed to treat the old man and Felt, who were injured, and so was Deku. As Deku would finally wake up from, the hospital that he was at, seeing Amelia was there with him too, as Amelia would bow down a little and say, thank you so much for your help. Thank you for trying to get back my insignia. As Deku would get up from the bed saying, it's no problem. But as he grabs his head saying, my head hurts. What happened though? As Amelia would explain the situation and what happened and who helped them, Deku would say, so that's how it went down. As he clenches his fist saying, I couldn't stop her. I couldn't defeat her. As, Amelia would basically come to him, give him like a little, she would randomly just hug him for some reason. She just hugged him saying, it's alright, you don't have to feel bad. It's alright. As Deku would say, would be just there, stunned, but, hug back. But, they'd get this sappy moment out the way for a second. As, Amelia would finally introduce herself properly, saying, my name isn't actually Satella. I don't know what gave you that idea, but my name is Amelia. As Deku would look to her saying, so your name is Amelia. That's a wonderful name. It suits you quite well. As Amelia would kind of blush from this, as Deku would just give her a sincere smile. As Amelia would thank him again, but ask Deku if he has a place to stay. As Deku would say, well, no, not at the current moment. I actually don't even know where I am yet. So, yeah, that's me. As, Amelia would be shocked, wondering how he doesn't know where he is. And this is like the royal capital, so, wait, this is not the royal capital. I don't think. Is this the royal? Yes, let me just say it is. I'm confusing myself, but yeah, this is the royal capital. But yeah, we move from this. As Deku would say, yeah, I currently don't have a place to stay, and I currently don't even know where I am. As Amelia was shocked learning this information from Deku, but, she offered him to stay at at her place with her, what was Mr. What's his name again? I totally forgot that clown guy's name. He looks like he's Sokka. Mr. L. Mathers. I totally forgot what his name was. But yeah, let's just say Mr. Almeida's for now. I honestly forgot his name. That's my bad, guys. I totally forgot his name. But yeah, the guy who was supporting Amelia throughout the campaign. Yeah, that guy. She basically informs Deku of who this guy was and what he's doing to help her out. As Deku, wasn't so clingy to Amelia like Subaru was, and was trying to get on a date with her every single time. No, that's not Deku. In this situation, Deku just wanted a place to stay, a place to train. So Deku would tell her that if it was alright with her, that he can come along. As Amelia would say, "Yeah, it's alright. It's just gonna be me returning the favor for you helping me out." As you know, Deku finally heals up after a while, and they both head out to them. They both head out to Amelia's mansion. As Deku comes out the carriage, looks at the building in shock, saying, "What? This place is massive." As Amelia chuckles, saying, "It's not that big." As Deku would look back at her, saying, "Are you serious right now? This place is huge. There's like 3 stories to this place, and this place looks so huge. I'd probably get lost." As Amelia chuckles, saying, "Alright, let's go inside." As when they open the door, 2 maids would show up, saying in sync, welcome back, Lady Amelia, or Miss Amelia." As they both, welcome Amelia, as they both look strangely towards Deku, as Deku would, basically scratch the back of his head, saying, "Hello." As Rom and Rem, who were the twin maids, would say, "Sister, sister, sister, this green-haired boy looks strange. Who is he? And why is he with Miss Amelia?" As Amelia would inform them that this is Deku, and he's going to be staying with them for a while. As, both of them would say, "Sister, sister, this green-haired boy kind of looks like a broccoli." As, they both start chuckling to themselves, as Deku would feel hurt by that insult, saying, "Ouch, that kind of hurt." But, it is what it is. So Deku was invited, and he spent a few days there for a little while before the master of the owner of this house actually came along, and he got introduced to them. As Deku, got introduced to the owner of the mansion, would have a slight talk with him, asking him what he would want to do, or if he wanted to stay or wanted to leave. Like, what did you want to do? As Deku would tell him that he'd actually want to work here as a knight for Amelia. As Amelia, who was also in this conversation, or was listening, would raise an eyebrow, saying, "Uh-huh, you want to be my knight?" As Deku would say, "Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure you have one yet, and you might need protection since you're a part of the royal, you're a part of this royal selection. So it's important you have someone to keep you safe." As oh, there it is. I totally remember now. Roswell, that's right. Roswell. I totally forgot. I do apologize for forgetting his name for a while, but there it is. Roswell. That's right. Roswell, who's like the owner of the mansion, would listen in, understanding the key points that Deku pointed out, as Roswell would basically agree, saying that's right. Amelia currently does not have a knight to protect her. As Roswell talks weirdly like that, but Roswell would then say, "Amelia, is it alright if this young boy would be your knight?" As Amelia would say, "Well, I don't mind, but he needs proper training, and I don't think we have time for that." As Deku would look towards her, saying, "No, not to worry. I already have some combat experience, and I'm a pretty fast learner, so it's not a problem." As Amelia would then say, "Alright then." So now Deku finishes up talking with Roswell and stuff like that, and he ends up becoming a knight, and he did not choose the same path as Subaru. Subaru chose to be like a maid or a servant, or actually no, a butler, but Deku chose to be a knight at this time around because, you know, he kind of thought this more thoroughly than Subaru did. Subaru don't even know why he chose to be a servant. Not sure, but yeah, Deku still isn't oh my goodness, honorary. That's right, my bad. I do apologize for stuttering. Honorary. He wasn't an honorary knight yet. An honorary knight. My bad. An honorary knight. My bad. I do apologize. He wasn't yet a full-fledged knight just yet because he had to do that special ceremony that gives you that title of being a knight of somebody. Yeah, he hasn't done that yet since he's still starting his training. So after that conversation, Deku would start training extremely hard. He would start training his body physically, doing some intense training, morning workouts. He'd do push-ups, sit-ups, runs around the castle, and runs around the mansion. Since that place is technically like huge and could basically be like its own area for him to run around in. Yeah, so he's basically doing all that training. He's doing training with the sword. He's also training with knives still. And he basically help around the house every now and then. But Rem, who was very, very suspicious of Deku, would, watch his every movements. As Deku, who would actually finish training every now and then, would start to go to basically go to his room. Since his room was filled with books and stuff like that, he'd basically start reading the books on his shelves, learning the language of this country and other languages as well. He learns how to read, how to write, and basically learns about magic, how to use magic, types of magic, and spirit arts as well. He learned about that. So yeah, he learns about all that, and basically within like 3 months. So actually, no, that's way too long. That's way, way, way too long. He learns all that within a couple days or so, as he spends a lot. Actually, yeah, he spends a lot. He learns that in like a couple of weeks or so. He learns how to read, write. He learns about the types of magic and all that. He learns all that. Because, he is a fast learner and he is a genius, like I've said before. But we move from this. As, Rem is still quite suspicious of quite suspicious of Deku, and would end up, kind of poisoning. No, actually, no, she wouldn't do nothing yet. She'd still watch Subaru quite closely, but yeah, we move from this. As Deku. Deku continues his nightly training, his studies, and one time he'd end up looking for the library, since he thought this place, since it was a mansion, would have its own, library that he can use books to read from and gain more knowledge, as he ends up walking into a random room, saying that he hasn't been here before. As this is the first time he ends up meeting Beatrice, as Beatrice, who was there, would look up towards him, saying, "What are you doing here?" I totally forgot her favorite line to use. I suppose, yes, that's right. Her favorite line, I suppose. As she looks up towards Deku, saying, "What are you doing here, I suppose?" As Deku would look towards her, saying, "Are you the librarian of this place?" As she would say, "I guess you could say that, I suppose." As Deku would look around, saying, "Well, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna borrow a few books." As Deku would, look at the sections of the books, check each aisle, start reading book after book, as he finds interesting books about their history. He actually learns about the witches in this because he spends tons of time studying and doing his training and helping out around the house. So yeah, he ends up learning about the witches, which is greed, envy, uh, gluttony, and all those witches. Yeah, he ends up learning about them, their history, since there's tons of books. So this is the library that has basically almost everything you need to know. Yeah, he starts reading book after book. As Beatrice just watches him knock down book after book, as she's surprised. She hasn't met anyone who is this interested about books before. So she starts reading her own book, as Deku would finish up, since what Deku thinks is an appropriate amount for him to read. It's like 10 books a day after his training. So yeah, he basically knocks down about 10 books. They're all about the witches and history of this place. So he needs to study more because there's like millions of books in this place. So yeah, Beatrice, who would just watch him finish reading all the books as he returns them, as well, Deku would look towards her saying, "Well, thanks for letting me borrow those books. They're really quite interesting." As Deku would wave to her, saying bye, as Beatrice whispers to herself, "Could he be the one?" As Deku would now start doing his daily things again and would help out Rom and Rem with anything they needed because, he was still a kind hearted guy. But Rom would kind of put her plan into motion. As, before nighttime, she'd give him water to drink because, she was being kind, quotation marks, as Deku would drink up water, saying, "Thanks, Rom, for giving me some water to drink." As he goes to bed. But he feels weird. As he starts feeling dizzy and his head starts spinning. As Deku, who currently hasn't done too much suspicious things, or hasn't done anything suspicious, in like, to me personally, he hasn't done anything done anything that's super duper suspicious. But to Rom, things he's been doing has been kind of suspicious. So yeah, as Deku gets up, feeling so dizzy and sick, as he could barely breathe properly, as he gets up, as he hears chains like clacking and all that, as he hears something coming his way, as Deku cannot react to it, as he feels his leg get blown off, as he screams in pain, as it was like a metal spike ball, as that metal spike ball kept hitting him over and over and over again. As well, Deku got, KO'd for the second time by Rem. As you'd hear the theme song of, ReZero's theme song after, they're used to return by death, as Deku would wake up in a cold sweat in his new place. As, I did forget to mention that he did fall asleep and he was carried to his room. I did forget to mention that, but he woke up right where he started yet again, as he gets up saying, in a cold sweat, as Rom and Rem, who were watching him sleep, were there saying, they're in shock, basically holding each other, saying, "Sister, sister, it appears that Broccoli Boy has awoken." As Deku would get up, look towards her, saying, "What happened?" As he remembers all that, he looks towards Rem, as, he basically kind of gets freaked out, as he says, "Oh, I'm sorry that I scared you too. I do apologize." As Deku would get up, grabbing his head, saying, "What was that?" But I think I'm gonna end it off here. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will be posting another video after this, so hopefully you guys do enjoy that. But without further ado, I'll see you all in the next What If scenario. Peace.